dating and relationships of all kinds. So in this show, today we're going to get into ourselves a little bit. We're going to get into the types of relationship we're having with self, opportunities that are out there to help you better yourself, and people and medical knowledge and technologies as well that are out there to help you better yourself. And we're just going to talk about that. We're going to start dating ourselves. This is an inside out dating show, meaning we start within, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and then move out. So we're going to be bringing you all sorts of guests and get into all sorts of dating topics. The first guest that I'm going to bring in tonight is a woman named Marilyn Keir. Now, she is fascinating. She's had decades in the communications field, and she's put together a really special summit. And we're going to bring her on, and then we're actually going to bring in Dr. Hal very briefly. And since we were both a part of her summit, and we can speak to it, Dr. Hal's just going to speak with you for like 5 minutes about what you need to remember to take care of yourself. And Marilyn's going to kind of be a co-host for that. And then we're going to go back and talk with Marilyn some more exclusively. So ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to Marilyn Keir. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here with you.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I got you. I got it. Yay!
Yay! I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you for inviting
me. You're here. And I kind of just looped you into a co-host. But that's how we're getting it done today. It's one of those days and we're jammed, and I want your time with me is important, and I wanted to be able to have a wonderful chat with you. First up, tell us about Activate Your Joy Muscle.
So this is a summit to help you heal your heart and instantly renew vibrant energy. And it's going to start airing on December 8th, and it'll be airing for 11 days. And I've interviewed 22 experts in the wellness field. And each day we're going to air 2 different interviews. And as you said, Dr. Hal Blattman is one of the experts. And we talk about pain management and how you need to understand your pain so that you can heal it. And I have movement experts on there, an anti-aging doctor. We're going to be talking about the joy of being stress-free, as you discussed. We have a kindness expert, a happiness expert, why happiness is good medicine, the healing power of humor. It's such a wide range of experts. And I had so much fun talking to everyone. And I hope that we brought out a lot of good information.
I had a blast. It was such a blast. I had great fun. Okay, so let's bring in Dr. Hal Blattman, MD, Dr. Hal Blattman. Dr. Hal Blattman is an amazing practitioner. I've known Dr. Hal Blattman for 4 years now, and I do some of his public relations work as I do with other professionals. And he just is so special. He's special and he's brilliant. So when you put intelligence together with a special person, you get a great healer. And so let me introduce you to my friend, Dr. Hal Blattman.
Hi, Hal. Lydia, thank you so much. That is so kind of you to say those words for me. Thank you.
Well, and I know you've met Marilyn. I don't know if you've ever seen. Oh, yes, you did see her.
Yes, we saw her through the same kind of video chat as here. And gosh, you guys are both so lovely.
Aw, thank you.
And we had a lovely chat that day.
Yes, we did. How are you, Dr. Blattman?
I'm doing well, thanks. And how are you?
Great, thank you.
She was such a wonderful interviewer.
Yes, she's very talented. She's been in communications for 20 years, so
she did it well.
It pays off. So what I want to speak, Marilyn's my co-host sort of the day. So we're going to be speaking with different people. And but I wanted to find out from you, what are some of the foods that we should succeed in avoiding
Really?
this Thanksgiving, because I know people are stressed. People are not able to travel to see loved ones that they may want to, and they're doing Zoom traveling. So they're sitting at the computer and at laptops and etc. in a way that can really aggravate our necks more than normal, more than we usually
Right.
would. Do you have some things that you recommend? And what is your do not eat food list? And just give us all the good stuff.
I do, but it may hit some of our viewers like headlights in a deer in the headlights,
Yeah.
because the number one, I think, is bread flour. And
Mm.
bread flour is in stuffing, it's in the breadcrumbs on top of the casserole. So before you think deer in the headlights, think, well, I can go get a gluten-free stuffing mix, or I can sprinkle a nut flour made with almond flour on top of my casserole. So
Mm.
maybe not so bad an idea. Number two, and bread flour is also going to be the noodles in that casserole. So maybe buy noodles made from rice flour noodles, and you've already taken the bread flour out. Number two, I think is going to be a tie between sugar and dairy. If your neck and shoulders are really tight and you squeeze on these muscles in your upper traps and they're really tender, that's almost always due to dairy.
Mm.
And all the way to butter, and the least tiny bit can make these muscles tender for 3 or 4 or even 5 weeks. So
Wow.
it takes a while to leave your body, although you might start to feel better in a couple of weeks. You might not feel better till like a switch. Everything changes in 4 weeks, uh, from one day to the next, even. So, bread flour, dairy, sugar. And there is so much sugar that comes with these holidays.
Yes.
And, you know, even though we would suggest to you that sugar substitutes, some of them are poison. Like, stay totally away from the blue package and the pink package and the yellow package. Look for something that says stevia or something that says monk fruit. These are, or even xylitol. They are not innocent. They all have some negative effect on your body, but they're not really poison
Okay.
at the level of the blue package and the pink package. And you can sweeten your baked goods with that. You can find a gluten-free flour. And at the very least, if you're doing baking for your family and you can't create the gluten-free flour things and whatever modifications you need to make, and you're just throwing your hands up because it's way too stressful, and it's the night before, it's a little long distance, but if you can get your flour from Italy,
Mm.
Italian flour, and make your baking things out of that, and if
Okay.
you can't pass that off for Thanksgiving, maybe you can do that for Christmas and New Year's. Even if you buy your flour from there, and even don't go to gluten free, but at least buy Italian based flour, you might be a whole lot better off than buying what is grown, unfortunately, in our country.
Okay. So those are really good tips. And I love that you gave us alternatives. You didn't just take stuff away.
You always have to have something as your backup plan,
Yes.
right? And if you can find a healthy alternative that gets you as a workaround for what we call the do not eat list, then at least it gives you some places to go in steps
Hmm.
that make it all possible.
Okay.
Any step you make, even the smallest one in the forward direction,
Hmm.
is a step you should be proud of, because you made it deliberately. It took action, it took work. You worked at it, you thought about it. It was difficult. Doesn't matter, it was small. You accomplished it. Be proud of that.
Yay.
Can
And it
I?
makes a change.
Yes.
So I'm making what I call a hippie loaf. It's vegan and gluten free with black beans. Do you approve of black beans?
You know, I can't recommend a single diet for anybody
Okay.
because everybody's a little bit different. But there's a pretty solid do not eat list across the board. Bread flour, sugar, potatoes, fruit juice, artificial sweeteners, and fake fat. Well, beans are not on that list.
Yay!
So some people get along great with beans. Some people find beans cause some problems. So that's more of an individual thing. I find if people focus on that core group of things that really our body doesn't do well with, a lot of the little stuff kind of fades because your body can compensate for the little stuff if you give it a break on the big stuff. So, and everybody knows beans are good for your heart.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
for dessert, I have, I'm making with gluten-free oatmeal and bananas. There's no flour in it. This cookie, and I put some dark cacao chips in it without any sugar. So I don't know if you approve of that.
You know, a lot of people think bananas are a good idea, but they carry a lot of sugar.
Okay.
So they're going to really sweeten your dish. So if you're a diabetic, you have no business ever eating a banana. If you're about to go run 2 miles, a banana gives you the energy and the fructose to burn. But otherwise, we are not entitled to the sugar in fruit like we think we are. We think we're entitled because it's natural and it comes from fruit. But really, if a diabetic eats a banana, their sugar levels pop sky high. They should never, ever do that. So that makes it not such an innocent food for the person who's not yet diabetic. So moderation, you know, a lot of people talk about potassium also. You know how you eat bananas for potassium? So I went and looked it up. I invite everybody to go and look it up the same way. I just went to internet and I typed in potassium. How much does the human body need every day? Well, it was 4,000 milligrams a day for the average adult and more for a person who's a pregnant woman, because only women do that. And then I typed in how much potassium do you get from certain foods? Well, banana was like 200 milligrams. A salad was 450. Coconut water was 500. Now, how many salads do you eat a day at 450 milligrams to get to 4,000? Right? That's like 10 salads a day, every single day. So I would bet nobody gets enough of this stuff. But making the point, bananas, pretty small amount for the amount of sugar it gives you. You're better off eating a salad.
Right.
So I don't know. Can you make these desserts with seaweed that you wrap nori?
Nori?
You wrap sushi in. Wouldn't that be an interesting taste?
Could be.
It could be. And lots of people put bananas in their smoothies every day. But
Yeah, they do.
the less of that we have,
Okay.
and it's certainly more innocent than going and eating grandma's apple pie, where the apples have been baked and now they're total sugar, plus all the other sugar she adds to it, plus the bread flour, that's in it. So you're giving people a wonderful and healthy alternative, or healthier at least, alternative to the things that we traditionally think of as dishes for the holidays. And any step we make in the right direction is a great step for the health of yourself and the health of your entire family this
Right.
holiday season.
Dr. Hal, can you stay with us? And we're going to go pay some bills and we will be right back. Can you stay?
Like me back? Sure.
I'd like you back. Okay, just a moment. Hi, I want to tell you about Blue Tree Coaching. That's bluetree-coaching.com. Cindy Warren is an amazing practitioner and healer. She's an attorney. She is also a yoga teacher, a Lululemon ambassador. She does so many wonderful things. And with her coaching practice, she really combines neuroscience with a lot of very practical applications to help you get through whatever it is that you need to get through. And you'll see Blue Tree Coaching coming out in our magazine, which will be everywhere. This weekend, we're putting it back up. We had to make a change, but we're putting it back up this weekend, and you'll be able to see it on either Satori, SATORIXPR.com or DrTranquility.com. And that's DR or doctor spelled out. So we just want to tell you about her. And I'm going to tell you about Hal Blattman, even though you're listening to him. And the Blattman Health and Wellness Centers, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, New York City, in Manhattan. It's in Chelsea. And periodically you will find him, even more now, on the West Coast in Seattle. He has a presence there, as well as he is a teacher, teaches a course, a program at Bastyr. Dr. Blattman is an amazing practitioner, and he specializes in myofascial pain. He studied with the late Janet Travell, who at the time was the leading expert in that pain. He's a past president of the American, oh, good grief, I just forgot, of the American, I want to say alternative health. I'm going to have to ask him because I'm blanking it all. I've been saying this for how many years? The alternative health, the American, you know what? Hold on 1 minute. Hey, Dr. Blattman, what's the board?
American Holistic Medical Association.
Thank you.
I was one of many presidents in its existence from 1979 through the present.
Good. And you studied with Janet Travell. How amazing is that?
Yes. Oh, an amazing opportunity to have a relationship with her. You know, when the whole field and thought of where pain really comes from, this was done in the 1930s. And someone injected hypertonic, that means very salty, salt water, into parts on the left and right side of the spine. And on one side, they injected all the ligaments, facet joint ligaments, and this ligament and that ligament. And on the other side, they injected the muscles and the trigger points and the paraspinal muscles and quadratus lumborum and so forth and so on. And they mapped out the pain patterns that came out of the injections on both sides. Well, the followers of prolotherapy took the information about the ligament injections and developed prolotherapy as a whole field. And Janet Travell, Dr. Janet Travell, took the information on the muscle injections and developed the theories about myofascial pain and where most of this all comes from. And what we've done is learned from her and evolved her information into what we've developed today, which really can help most pain go away in most people, no matter how long you've had the pain.
Now, I know you do a lot of different types of practices in dealing with your patients and helping them to get out of pain. And you're a big believer that, you know, I heard you present at a medical council, IHS, I believe it was, and a conference, and you talked about, you know, it was just so clear we need to stop giving medication for pain, and we need to talk about how to make pain go away. And I love when you discuss how to get it below the radar so that it doesn't affect you. You say that far better than I, of course.
Well, you know, we have injuries all over our body that we've had since childhood. We started jumping out of trees and jumping down the steps. And how many teenagers or people now can remember when they're teenagers, they jumped? Some of the folks in this audience led the other kids off the roof. Some of us followed. Others just, you know, watched. But those things created injuries that, you know, didn't bother us much back then, or maybe they did. And if you fell on your tailbone as a teenager, you might still have pelvic pain from that. So you end up in the doctor's office, and we're all taught as physicians, pain comes from disc and nerve and spine and inflammation, but we're never taught how to touch. We're never taught how to appreciate a tissue called fascia that holds us together. And we have these injuries all over our bodies, and so many of them we don't really know about or pay attention to.
Right.
Like if you were to grab this muscle right here in your neck, big muscle, big thick muscle, so about this thick, you could feel that there's ropes and cords in this muscle. And you might also feel that somewhere between here and down here, they're way more tender than you expected them to be.
Right.
Well, that tender knot and rope is a kink in the fascia cords and strings, so to speak, that hold you together.
Right. So,
And that
Dr. Hal, can you tell us some of the techniques you use to, because I really want to, in this little
we,
spot, it's really a commercial. I
we
want
work on
to,
making this kink go away
and you use trigger
and
points.
teaching you how to do that and helping you understand which of these kinks might cause that pain. Because if you have these kinks, in your neck, see this picture right here? These are the kinks in that muscle. This is the migraine that would come from that. And you can also feel right here, if you push on your collarbone, push in and push down, you can feel little tiny bumps that are tender. And this is the injury that causes the kinks in this muscle. And these are all over your body. Well, you're right. None of them have to be perfect. They all need to be ignorable, like the other ones you ignore. So if
Yes.
you get the ones that are in your radar to be ignorable, then your back pain goes away, your headache goes away.
And so tell us where, I'm not letting you go just yet, but tell us where people can find you.
www.blattmanhealthandwellness.com is a great place to go.
Yeah,
And
amazing
from
resource.
and
Amazing
from the
resource.
from the Cincinnati office, we schedule Cincinnati and Manhattan, and our occasional visits to Seattle.
Okay. So I'm going to bring you back in just 1 second with Marilyn. And let me just finish paying those bills.
Okay, now, thanks.
All right. So Dr. Hal Blattman will be with us in just 1 minute, and so will Marilyn Keir. One thing I wanted to tell you all about is my good friend, Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray of Kelly Ray Coaching, and that's KELLIE Ray, RAE, coaching.com, is wonderful. And she has all sorts of specials going on. She's a Reiki practitioner, but she also has a degree in education and a degree in finance. So she's currently working to put new protocols together to bring you. And you spoke with her briefly. She was on the show in the very beginning episodes. She's going to be coming back. And we're just so honored and blessed to have her. Along with is Elizabeth Yarnell, who is a naturopathic practitioner. And she has amazing enzymes and wonderful, she's been in every magazine known to mankind. Well, it's known to us here in the States. And she has wonderful protocols. So she will be coming back on the show, and you'll see her featured in the magazine, and you'll see Dr. Hal featured in the magazine also. So let's bring them back, and we'll get back into our conversation.
Hey, thank you.
Hello.
Very good. So, okay, where were we? So, Marilyn, tell us more about the summit.
So people can access it by going to activateyourjoymuscle.com.
Okay.
Activateyourjoymuscle.com. And when they go there, they'll see a little video of me explaining what they'll be learning. And they just enter their name and email and they can get access. And once the videos are released, we're going to be releasing 2 a day. They will be available to view for free for 48 hours after release. And every morning, people who have registered will get an email telling them who will be featured that day and what they can expect to learn by listening to that speaker.
Great. That sounds fun.
I so love that. Activate your joy muscle. It's like there's a button. And I was talking to somebody, a new patient, about making his pain go away. And he says, yeah, you got a magic button you can push to make my pain go away? And I'm thinking, yeah, a joy button. It would totally work. And I showed him how he can take a little rubber ball and push on the kink in his muscle that causes the pain, just like a joy button. It hurts. Joy buttons make you giggle. This one hurts a little bit on the way, but it makes the pain go away. And there is actually a button you can push. And I love buttons for joy.
You know, I've worked with pain for 25 years as an orthopedic massage therapist. And people who are my clients, the quality of their life just suffers so much when they have pain and they don't understand it and they don't know how to help themselves. And so I was so excited to find you, Dr. Blattman, an MD, who truly understands the role of fascia in the whole pain syndrome and how people can help themselves. And you demonstrate a myofascial release technique that people can learn to do on themselves at home. And I think that can be life-changing for a lot of people.
There's a woman who we had her office visit by telemedicine, and she had foot pain for 20 years and lives close enough to Manhattan. She's had the privilege of the finest care and orthotics and so forth, but never any surgery. And we were able online to show her the places where her calf muscle is tender, where her calf is injured, and show her what she can do with her own hands to take the kinks, just like the kinks in this muscle, out of her calf and change her foot pain. Well, we had a conversation about 3 weeks later, a follow-up appointment, and she's telling me that her pain was so good she decided to go on a hike. It took an hour and a half to get there, and she couldn't sit prior to my work with her for 30 minutes without too much pain in her foot. She'd have to get up and walk around. She makes it through the hour and a half. She has to walk further than she thought. It was a couple miles for the hike, and she had to carry more weight than she expected to carry. So by the time she got back to the car, there was a lot of pain in her feet. And she took her hands and did to her leg muscles what we had taught her that had already made her pain go away. And she says in 15 minutes, all the pain was gone. And she's thinking now for the first time in years, she can actually run again. So yes, absolutely, it changes people's lives to make this go away and to know that you can do it yourself, a lot of it. There's parts we have to do from the inside, but there's so much you can do yourself from the outside, and it's so important for many people to change their food.
And when someone has foot pain and they're not walking properly, then it throws things off up the kinetic chain, and then they have other pain problems that show up.
Exactly. Orthotics change that. You see somebody who's really stooped forward and bent forward, and their feet are kind of pronated, and they can get an orthotic that lifts that up. Their whole body and posture change, and there are many analogs to that kind of idea. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Hal Blattman, thank you so much for being with us today.
Such
I wanted to have you on just to give you a little dose, and you were so generous to stay on longer and explain, and give. That's a great, what you were talking about in terms of food, the do not eat list, but what you can eat list as well.
Oh, yes. Lovely to see both of you.
It was wonderful to see you.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right. Bye now.
Bye. Thank you, Dr. Hal Blattman of Blattman Health and Wellness Centers, located in Cincinnati, New York, and with a presence in Seattle, Washington. You will find him at Blattman, BLATMAN, healthandwellness.com. And so, Marilyn, tell us who else you're going to have on.
Well, we're going to have Elizabeth Yarnell on, and she's going to be talking about anti-inflammatory foods that can help you with autoimmune conditions and conditions like MS and other things with chronic pain. And so it's so exciting to have her. And I'm going to have Cindy Warren on as well. And she's going to be talking about mastering your mind for joy. She has 5 different branches in her coaching, and she goes through each one and explains how people can, over time, get better control over their mindset to create a better life for themselves. And I even have a person that's going to be talking about the power of color for joy and happiness. Her name is Jen Thoden. You wouldn't think about, using color to feel better about yourself.
Uh-huh.
And she helps women, especially, choose colors that bring out their best self. So I try to approach this from so many different aspects.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm going to take a moment here, and you're welcome to stay with me. I want to just finish the piece I was giving on Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray of kellyraycoaching.com, and that's KELLIE Ray, RAE, coaching.com. She has an MBA in finance. I need to correct myself. She is an intuitive and distant Reiki healer, and she's actually offering a special for the show and our listeners for $49 to do distance Reiki healing with couples and singles to help them find what they're looking for and get back in sync, which I think is wonderful. And tell us more about your program, because I know our listeners will want to find out how they can tune in. Do you have anything that's specific with dating and relationships or physiology for dating and relationships?
Well, in your segment, Dr. Tranquility, you talked a lot about that. And
that's true, I did.
Yeah, so you're the expert on that. I couldn't think of anybody better to ask questions about dating and relationships. So they get to hear me interview you, and maybe in a different way than you've expressed on this show. We talk about 7 secrets to staying young.
Yeah.
And when you're dating, you want to put your best self forward. So,
yes, you do.
I have Dr. Dave Wojnarowski on, and he is certified in anti-aging medicine. And he gives a lot of information about things that you wouldn't even think about, such as meditation. He was once asked at a conference, what is the one thing, the secret that he would recommend to people about staying young? And everyone thought he was going to say something else. And he said meditation, because that really helps your mind.
Okay,
he talks, also about telomeres, which are the things on the ends of the chromosomes. And the length of your telomeres determines your health and your aging process. And he talks about how getting quality sleep helps keep the telomeres in check. So it's really very interesting information.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're going to stay with us, and we're going to be right back with you. We're going to just get into actual bill paying, because I was doing some on-air promos. And we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dr. Tranquility Lydia of Dr. Tranquility Talks. And I want to take a second to tell you about one of the friends of the show, Kelly Ray Coaching.com. Kelly Ray is a holistic life coach. In fact, she believes a holistic journey to vibrancy. She understands the connection of mind, body, spirit, and the power it has on healthy living, and how all of these interconnected areas can positively affect other areas in our life. She's a Reiki master teacher, has a BA in education and an MBA. She has always been a teacher by nature and loves sharing her knowledge. Stay tuned and look out for Kelly, Kellie, Ray, RAE, coaching.com.
So that's Kelly Ray. And, we're so lucky to have so many amazing people on Dr. Tranquility Talks. And they're all very different. And some are inside out. Starting in December, we're going to have a series of dating coaches and dating experts, which is a group that we haven't necessarily brought on to see and tell us how they go about doing what they do. We have some matchmakers coming on. It'll be very interesting. So we're going to move, in the beginning of the show here, we've gone inside out. We're going to move to more of the outside approach, especially during the holidays, because then it's the holidays, it's Christmas, we're already at Thanksgiving, then New Year, which is a big holiday for singletons trying to partner up for the new year. And then before you know it, it's Valentine's Day. So we have all sorts of amazing people that are going to be coming on. And we're just so excited that we're here with Kelly Ray, and we're listening to a little of Ascension by Maxwell so that we can get ascended in our information and ourselves. Hi. Okay. So one of the things I really like that I've noticed is isn't it funny how so many people are really getting into health and to almost a DIY approach to health? I know I have a lot of couples that'll come in to see me and they tell me that that's, the one thing that they're both into, or it's actually a problem because one is into health and the other one is not. And now that they're dealing with COVID, they really have to live in what the other one is doing, that when they're cooking, when they're preparing foods, and it tends to be somewhat problematic, right? So, but it's fun. It's a fun practice dealing with dating and relationships and helping people to grow through it. So I hope in my time with you on your summit that I was able to convey that message and to give some healthy tips.
You were, in fact, because I asked you, do you talk to both parties? Mm-hmm. And you said that you did. Should I give away the secrets or wait till people listen?
Well, we can give away one secret and then don't tell anymore. Just
okay.
One.
All right. And you said that sometimes when you bring both parties in, they come to the conclusion that maybe that isn't the right relationship for them.
Yes.
But it's better to find out sooner than later, right?
Yes. And they also come to the conclusion that it is the right relationship. It just may need a little tweaking. Real simple 3-session kind of tweaking, not long-term tweaking. And so it was a fun summit. I loved it. Activate your joy muscle. Everyone, you can Google Marilyn Keir, or you can go to activateyourjoymuscle.com and find out more. And it's free. You can listen to it. It's free. And you can select the people you want to listen to, which makes it even better. And there's something for everyone there. So I highly encourage everyone to go. Marilyn Keir, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It was actually a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we will have you back soon.
Okay, it'll be my pleasure. You have a happy Thanksgiving and eat something
happy Thanksgiving also.
Dr. Blattman would approve of.
Yes, I will eat something that he will definitely approve of. Don't tell him, but I ate something he would absolutely not approve of later. But I only took one little bite. But he's going to say one little bite is all you need for 5 weeks. But it was worth it. It was a mac and cheese. This mac and cheese ball that they fry. And so he will kill me, but I took the little piece of it and I had it. I had to have it. It's my favorite thing. So, and I only have it once a year.
This was it.
This is good. But other than that, I loved his ideas about gluten-free pasta and the gluten-free toppings. I thought it was amazing and spot on.
Yeah, you can't tell the difference, really.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Right.
That was Marilyn Keir, and you can find her on Activate Your Joy Muscle. Make sure you get on over there. It's free. You and your partner can listen to it together. You can listen to it by yourself, whatever you like. And honestly, guys, I just want to say thank you for being with me today. It was an amazing show. We're going to start bringing you more guests per show because I find that it really helps to keep things lively and moving along at a nice clip. So if you have someone that you would like to recommend to us, feel free to do that. We look forward to hearing from them. And I look forward to hearing from you. You can always reach me at DrTranquility at gmail.com or Lydia at DrTranquility, DrTranquility.com. Take care and make it a great holiday and an even better week. Bye.